Hello guys, good morning. Come back again in Rais Firdaus Ceramic Playlist Finance Time. Good revenue, Wall Street takeover. Now in episode 14, we will talking about Nebius revenue quarter 2 2026. Nebius has report quarter 2 revenue with brilliant number with record, and the stock rose 32% in last night in Wednesday market. So is it Nebius undervalued and right to invest or not? Let's check it out. Okay, revenue up 454%, EBITDA positive, and a bigger loss than last year. Nebius Group reported quarter 2 2026 this morning, and the stock rose about 23% in last night. Revenue grew 454% to 582 US million. Adjusted EBITDA turned positive at 236 million US, and annual recurring revenue hit 3 US dollar billion. The GAAP net loss still widened to 190 US million dollar. Tonight, what is actually happening inside this company, where the cash really comes from, and whether the valuation is investable. So every episode in Rais Firdaus Ceramic will deep comprehensive about the revenue, about the data, and not only narrative. So you can find the good company. Before we start, I tune on Nebius. It is not in 11 core holding, and it is not in my HF account. No position to defend, nothing to sell you, no promise return. Every figure tonight come from Nebius quarter 2 2026 release or the source name on screen. This is a high volatility stock. Remember, high volatility stock. So please be careful with anything you hear about it, including from me. The print for numbers that don't normally appear together. Revenue quarter 2 2025 105.1 million US dollar. In the quarter 2 2026 is 582.3 million US. So change 454%. Wow. Fantastic report. Brilliant report. Adjusted EBITDA dropped 21 million US dollar in the quarter to 2026 is up to 136.2 million US. So it's go to positive, turn positive. Adjusted net loss in the quarter to 2026 is dropped 33.2 million US. So change is narrow. GAAP net loss is in the quarter to 2026 is dropped 190.4 million US. So change is widened, and GAAP dilute EPS is dropped 0.68 US dollar. So continuing ops. This is the whole episode in one table. On an adjusted basis, the company just turned the corner. On a GAAP basis, it lost more money than ever. Both are true. The trajectory from 100 million to nearly 600 in 4 quarters. Really? Yeah, so let's is deep comprehensive. In the quarter to 2025 is 105 million US dollar. In the quarter 1 in the 2026 is 399 million US. Now in the quarter 2 2026 is 582 million US. So quarter 2 2026 revenue of 399 million US was itself up 280% year over year. Sequential growth in the quarter 2 was about 46% annualized this quarter, and you get roughly 2.33 billion US, which matter when we got to the ARR number, quarterly revenue. The ARR of 3 US billion is ahead of the revenue run rate. Measure ARR figure 1.9 billion US as of 31 March 2026, not reported at quarter 1. And the ARR figure 3 billion US is as of 30 June 2026, not is up 58% in one quarter. Quarter 2 revenue analyst is 2.33 billion US as of calculated, not below ARR. So fiscal year 2025 actual revenue is 530 million US. Full year 2025 for scale ARR is an exit rate measure. It reflect contract left in the final month, not was billed across the quarter. That is why it runs ahead of revenue. It is a legitimate metric, and it is also the most flattering one available. Now which you are being shown. Annual recurring revenue and the run rate. The reaction, positive EBITDA was the thing to prove. For 2 years, the bear case on every new cloud was simple. Renting GPU is a capital destroying business. A 41% adjusted EBITDA margin at this revenue level is the first serious evidence against that. Adjusted EBITDA went from minus 21 million US to plus 236 million US in 12 months. So we must appreciate, yeah. But I want to see Nebius can hold in the quarter 3 or not. For the full year, management still guides to roughly a 40% adjusted EBITDA margin. The stock had fallen about 37% from the hike before this report, down to around 187 US. So this was a beaten down stock, proving the one things it's needed to prove. Why the market like it? Because can switch to plus 236 million US. So the bridge where 236 million US of EBITDA become 190 million US loss. Item adjusted EBITDA direction is plus 236.2 million US. Why it exists? Operating result. Cash? Mostly yes. Depreciation? Direction? Large. Why it exists? Because billion of GPU. Cash? No. Share-based comp is large. Paying stock in stock. Cash is no. Interest expense? Large. Yeah, because AI is much spending for intelligence of their brain and data center. So expense is absolute large. Why it exists? Debt funding the build. Cash? Yes. Cap net loss is minus 190.4 million US. The sum of all of it. Nebius names the three driver itself: surging depreciation, share-based compensation, and interest expense. The exact split is in the filing. What matter is the shape, from adjusted EBITDA to GAAP net loss. The honest answer, both for different questions. Adjusted EBITDA tells you whether renting compute is a viable business at scale. The answer is now yes. GAAP net loss tell you what it costs to own the machine that make it possible, and that answer is still expensive. Depreciation on GPU is not a fake expense. Those chips genuinely lost value and genuinely have to be replaced. Interest expense is entirely real cash leaving the company. So EBITDA positive is a milestone, not a finish line. Adding back depreciation on asset you must keep paying is the single most debated adjustment in this entire industry. Which number should you believe? About 190 million US loss or 200 revenue? Yeah, up to you. For Nebius company. Be careful here. Don't compare this loss to last quarter profit. Nebius reported GAAP net income of 621 million US in quarter 1 2026, but roughly 781 million US of that come from refilling its stake in ClickHouse after a funding round, not from selling compute. Comparing a quarter with a one-off investment gain to a quarter without one produce a meaningless swing. If you see Nebius went from profit to loss, framed as deterioration, that is what happened. So, a warning about the prior year comparison. Follow the money. The most important table in this episode. Operating cash flow in the quarter 2 2026 is up 2.25 billion US. Source mostly prepayment. Rate is as not earning. Capital expenditure or CapEx quarter 2 is minus 5.66 billion US. Source data centers for GPU. Rate it as building capacity. Yeah. Every company for AI, like Microsoft, like Alphabet, like Nebius, mostly expend much about capital expenditure. You must understand. So for me, the capital expenditure is must follow the result in the quarter 3 or in the 2027 or in the future. Yeah. If the capital expenditure and modal is come back with profitable, I will buy the technology company. If not, I will buy the stable company like Berkshire Hathaway or maybe like AbbVie or like Pfizer. Yeah. Cap is minus 3.41 billion US. CapEx minus OCF rated as must be funded. Deferred revenue quarter 1 is 4.78 billion US. Source customer prepayment rated as revenue not yet earned. Operating cash flow 2.25 billion US looks spectacular until you read why. It is driven largely by deferred revenue and working capital. Customers paying in advance in the future, not in now. That's money reserved for compute not yet delivered. So you must focus not about the in the outside, but the inside of that company. So don't be betting or swing trading in investment. For me, yeah, the mechanic customer are funding the build out. When Meta or Microsoft prepay for years of compute, Nebius get cash now and all service later. Focus service later and the product, the result is advanced in the future. That is a genuine vote of confidence and cheap financing at the same time. So now for me is not all about the profitable, but there is a prepay from Meta or Microsoft. The good, it is proof demand is contracted and contract is for long term and much money for contracted, not hope for, and it reduces reliance on rising equity. The bad it flatter operating cash flow in a way that doesn't repeat unless prepayment keep growing at the same pace and is an obligation. Deferred revenue is a liability. It means service you have already been paid for and still have to deliver. Where prepayment cut both ways. And there is good and bad. There is pros and cons. the gap 5.66 US dollar billion US of capex in a single quarter. I have noticed to you about capital expenditure in a single quarter. Again, 582 million US of revenue. That ratio again. Nebius spent nearly 10 times its quarterly revenue on building capacity in the same 3 months. Analyzed estimate for full year 2026 capital expenditure run in the range of 20 to 25 billion US. That is not a criticism of the strategy. It is simply the real reality that is companies' future depend on continued access to enormous amount of capital. The number that keeps me cautious, because capital expenditure 25 billion US dollar. The visibility, what is already signed contract with Meta platform, with Microsoft plus Meta backlog, value up to 27 billion US. Them in 5 years. So that is positive aspect about Nebius, not Vera Rubin deployment. It's about Vera Rubin deployment. Microsoft plus Meta backlog is around 40 billion US. So long-term or multi-year, not reported combined. Reflection AI value is over 1 billion US. Them through until 2029. Not announced this week. Remaining obligation is value 33.6 billion US. Them is at 31 March 2026. Not now. Yeah, the contract is for start at 31 March 2026. So it has start. Yeah, I'm sorry because now is August. Not 29% within 24 months. So it is positive aspect. Remaining performance obligation are the quarter one disclosure. The figure for quarter 2 will be the filing, not the timing. Only 29% of that 33.6 billion US was expected to be recognized inside 2 years. 39% between month 25 and 48. The contracted order book. So if your company that you have invested, there is much contract and long year contract is good, yeah, for me, yeah. But you must focus also in expenditure. It's about capital expenditure. Yeah, if the capital expenditure is return, yeah, it will be brilliant. Yeah, if not return, yeah, you must be cautious. Read it properly. 27 billion US deal is a promise to buy capacity that does not exist yet. Nebius has to build the data center, secure the power, take delivery of the chips, and run them reliable before most of that money is earned. The contract remove demand risk almost entirely. They don't remove execution risk at all. And execution is exactly where the skeptics are pointing. Backlog is not revenue. Backlog and CapEx is not revenue. You must divide, yeah, one by one. So this is about what? This is about earning. This is about revenue. This is about capital expenditure. So you will be more clever and success in the investment environment. The dependency and enormous visibility from very few names. Consideration to customer detail Microsoft and Meta. Effect around 40 billion US of backlog. Nvidia stake. Yeah. Nvidia corporate. What is that? Contract with the Nebius is about 9.3% passive, 2 billion US invested. FX supplier is sell holder. Meta on plan reportedly building a cloud to resell spare capacity. FX is future competitor. Nvidia lock up detailed warrant share cannot be sold before September 2026. Effect watch that. The Meta detailed warrant sitting with reporting suggests Meta may sell spare AI capacity itself. Your largest customer becoming a competitor is a specific nameable risk. Yeah. Because what? Because your partner is your competitor. Yeah. You must concentration on that too. The guide revenue guidance unchanged. Capacity target raise again. Guidance item fiscal year 2026 revenue figure is 3 until 3.4 billion US. Change is maintained, not raised. Fiscal year 2026 adjusted EBITDA margin around 40%. Change maintained, not on that revenue. And 2026 capacity target 5 gigawatt. Change raised, not was 4 gigawatt before that 3 gigawatt. Implied fiscal year growth is 466 until 542%, not versus 530 million US in 2025. So I think in the 2025 is not very bad for reported, yeah, Nebius. So if now is 465, 66, you should not be surprised, yeah. But you must understand that is about Meta and Microsoft pre-contract, ya. Prepays, yeah, not pre-contract but prepays. The nuance, the first half revenue is about 981 million US. The year need 3 until 3.4 billion US. At quarter one to 399 million US to quarter 2 582 million US, and you get roughly 981 million US through 6 months. To reach even the low end of guidance, the second half has to deliver about 2 US billion, roughly double the first half. It is not easy. That is not implausible. Capacity coming online compound and ERR already sit and at 3 billion US. But it doesn't mean the full year number depend on data center that are still being built. This is my arithmetic from the 2 reported quarter. Check it yourself. What maintenance guidance really means here. The price, what the market is paying for all of this. Share price is now in the 252 US dollar basic after roughly up 23%. Market cap approximately is around 56 billion US. Basis is about 222 million US shares. Fiscal year 2026 revenue guide is value 3.2 billion US midpoint. Multiple is valuation in around 18 times sales. Basis company guidance. ARR is 3 billion US. So multiple valuation only in 19 times ARR. Basis is exit rate 30 June. Fiscal year 2026 consensus EPS is dropped 2.14. There is no PE. Basis is still loss making. So you cannot bias. You must focus what make some company is cheap on valuation and must make the company is premium in valuation. Maybe premium because there is a hype from retail investor, but for the result of capital expenditure still not yet coming. The first maybe like that. The second maybe there is a pre-price from many contract, but the result is not yet coming. Yeah, the result is not finished. Yeah, not yet finished. The comparison cheaper than Palantir, growing X time faster. In the series, Palantir came out near 43 times revenue, growing 93%. Arista near 22 times, growing 38%. For Solar near 5 times growing slightly negative. Nebius did near 18 times revenue while growing 454%. On a pure growth adjusted basis, this is the cheapest AI name I have covered this month. That comparison is also the most misleading one in the episode because those companies are profitable and is not. A multiple only means something if the denominator is durable. Here, the denominator depends on capital market staying open. 18 times sales in context. Yeah. For all episode about AI is Nebius very cheap. The dispersion from 175 US to a street high on the same company. The episode analyzed the price is around 175 US. The fair price, yeah, the fair price. And simply while consensus is fair price for Nebius in 244 US dollar. For consensus analyzed is in the 255 US dollar. And for Goldman Sachs, yeah, bank, yeah, analyzed trade hike is about 300 US dollar. So it's up to you. Yeah, for Nebius is for you is fair price or not for today. Yeah, today in the pre-market Nebius in 259 US. Yeah, so I think there is a premium like Davidson, but still cheap for Goldman Sachs analyzed fair price. On the record, Michael Burry is short Nebius and Oracle. Why short? Yeah, yeah, because Michael Burry is, I think, not one of the investor that like my style, yeah. But I must recognize that he is one of the best, yeah, for trading, yeah. But for myself, for my style, it's not like Michael Burry. Michael Burry is short Nebius and Oracle. Burry in the investor, best known for calling the 2028 housing collapse. Yeah, I think for me, yeah, the human can predict is not always right, but maybe in your life, yeah, ini for my brain, ya, my mind, ya, in my mind, in one human, you can only predict with big predict, ya, big predict in the world is only one or until 5. But for maybe you can predict the match, the sport match, the basketball, the soccer is maybe you can predict 100 times. 100% is correct. But for big prediction for the world, like Michael Burry, I think it's lucky, yeah, for 2028 housing collapse. Disclosed short position in both on his Substack. Nebius fell for 2 consecutive days on that news before the morning report, reaching about 187 US. His broad argument as reported concern depreciation schedules across the AI infrastructure trade, whether these companies are understating how fast GPU lost value. That argument is directly relevant on the gap versus EBITDA gap we walked through earlier. It is the same disagreement. Being famous doesn't make him right, and today's numbers were better than he implied. But this is the most substantive bear case in the sector, and it deserves a honest hearing. Why? Because so many trading and swing investor or swing trading or maybe not long investor is FOMO. Yeah, for me is FOMO about the narrative of news. So if Michael Burry is one of the best in this industry about trading, yeah, or about investing, yeah, there is so much human to follow him, yeah. But if you look deep comprehensive in uh, my research, my data, maybe you will happy and stable in your life, yeah, because there is so many argument to buy or not buy, yeah, about that company. What will make me wrong? Capital excess, roughly 5.66 billion US capex is one quarter again 582 million US of revenue. Its credit tag 10 or prepayment slow. The entire bill schedule change. Concentration and competition. Around 40 billion US backlog from two customers, one of which is reportedly building a competing cloud and supplier that own 9.3% of the company. Execution division specifically flagged delays at Finland. Capacity target have been raised 3 times. The revenue guidance has not moved with them. 3 ways district. Maybe I can be wrong about Nebius. The other side, and why I may be wrong about being cautious. Adjusted EBITDA went from minus 21 million US to plus 236 million in a year. The unit economic argument is being answered with number not promised. ARR grew 58% in a single quarter from 1.9 billion to 3 billion US. Demand is not the constraint. Nvidia putting 2 US billion in a taking 9.3% is the strongest possible signal about chip allocation, which is the real bottleneck in this industry. The full answer to all three. The verdict, the judgment, answering the question in the title directly. Was the quarter fantastic? Answer yes. Revenue 454%. EBITDA 236 million US. Is it profitable? For me, still no, because GAAP net loss 190.4 million. Yeah, so is the cash flow real? Partly, there is a for capital expenditure 27 billion, and partly OCF driven by prepayment. Yeah. Is 18 times sales justifiable? Arguably, yes. Evidence 454% growth, 3 billion US ARR. Well, I investor, not for me, because capital expenditure is very, very much. Yeah, 5.66 billion US, 23% single day move. Maybe I was wrong because the narrative and the FOMO of retail investor is make the price is not like valuation. But up to you. I will not. I'm the man that not regret of something. If like about Datadog, DDOG is fantastic in year over year, and I'm not buying from last year. I'm not regret, because the valuation and profitable is still arguable in my research. Yeah. Not for me, it's about my portfolio and my temperament, not a recommendation. A stock that can fall 37% and then rise 23% in morning is not something I can hold calmly. That is fact about me, not a verdict from the analyst. The watch list for number quarter 3 2026. Does full year revenue guidance finally get rise above 3.4 billion US? Does operating cash flow hold up without a fresh surge in customer prepayment? Does the gap loss narrow, or does depreciation keep outrunning EBITDA? And the Nvidia lockup expiry in September, and anything said about Finland timeline? There is 4 fourth thing that you must focus if you want invest Nebius. Bottom line, a fantastic quarter of financeable question. Nebius grew revenue 454%, turned adjusted EBITDA positive at a 41% margin, took ARR to 3 billion US and held tens of billion in contracted backlog. That is a genuinely remarkable business being built at speed. Yeah, remarkable at speed. But it spent 5.66 billion US in 3 months again. 582 million US of revenue, funded partly by customer paying in advance, pre-buys, and still lost 190 million US on a GAAP basis. So the question the title has a precise answer. The valuation is not the problem here. The funding is. Decide whether you are comfortable with that or not. If you're comfortable, then decide about the price and don't be worry and regret. Yeah, if you buy an abuse or something company, you must full her. Yeah, full HEART. Yeah, full heart. Yeah, that is episode 14. See you next earning. If this was useful, subscribe. The whole playlist is one long argument about what is real and what narrative in the market. Playlist finance time, Raisverdos remit portfolio Raisverdos /size.github.io / my portfolio website. Not financial advice, do your own research. So, for the conclusion, there is 2 conclusion for Nebius. The first, what? The first is about prepayment. Prepayment is there a result from backlog and building in the future capital expenditure. In the second, you must focus on funding. So many funding, not only from Meta, but from Microsoft and Nvidia. It's about September, in the future, August, September. So the next month, it is still continue or not. It's about with Nvidia. And the third is about, for me, I must always reading in view trading. If in the financial sector, in the view trading is profitable, not minus, not down, both on quarterly and yearly, I will buy that company. So with live, with recorded, but the market has opened, I still slow my heart, because we must believe and confident with myself. If you confident, so and there is a desire, I think it's good ability to success. For me, it's that, and for Nebius. Okay, thank you for watching this episode in the 14 finance time. I'm sorry if there is a wrong in my speech or in my speaking. See you in the next episode, and bye bye.